reach out to the sky.
Hey everybody, welcome to Jerry and Jamie 2 Up. In today's episode, we're exploring the area around Moab. We had Mark with us, along with Suzanne and Marcia, who had never been to this area before, so we were really excited to show off the area to them. As many of you know, we love Moab, and this trip was amazing. The weather was fantastic for the most part. We did get a little bit of rain, but nothing too crazy, and the scenery was amazing. This time of year is always busy in Moab, and this was no exception. Today we decided to go into Arches, and they are using a new time entry program, and it worked out pretty well. It was just hard to get onto the website the day before, but it worked out pretty well. Suzanne and Marcia were just amazed at the views, and we really played tourist today. We just kind of drove around the park, stopped and took multiple pictures, and did a lot of hiking and exploring in the area. If you've never been to the area, folks, you got to go check it out. Look at these pictures. Like I said, we really did some exploring in the area. Mark was really nice and took care of Rags, who was Suzanne and Marcia's dog, and they built a great relationship at this time. After we spent a few hours in Arches, we decided to head out, and we were going to go get some lunch in town and then go to Canyonlands. As we were exiting the park, you can see that the traffic had really increased. And folks, if you want to enjoy some of the national parks in this area, you have to plan ahead and get reservations and make sure you try to beat the crowds, because it does get kind of crazy. We headed over to Canyonlands after having lunch in Moab at the food truck park. That was really cool. You guys should check that out. I'll put pictures at the end of this. But as we headed over to Canyonlands, we were going to do Schaefer Trails on the way back, which would be the first time we'd get off dirt a little bit, and would be Marcia and Susan's really first time of doing anything that's like this in the area. So we were excited for that. But before then, we just stopped up at Canyonlands, went to all the visitor center, and just enjoyed the area. Canyonlands is beautiful as well, as you can tell by these pictures. One of my favorite parts of the trip to Moab is always doing Schaefer switchbacks. It's really pretty easy to do, and it's just a good way to whet your appetite for what's going to happen over the next couple of days. One thing we didn't understand was that Suzanne was a little petrified of heights, and this probably isn't the best trail to start on if that's the case, but as you all can tell, the scenery is amazing. As we ventured further down the switchbacks, we noticed that Suzanne and Marcia kind of dropped back a little bit, and that can be expected as new to the trail, and again, we didn't understand her affliction for being scared of heights. So we got around the corner, and we decided we'd hang out and take some pictures. Well, when they didn't show up, we decided to backtrack and go see what was going on. As we made it up along the hill, they were on the radio, and I think they had had enough of the switchbacks and the overview. So they decided that they wanted to turn around. So Mark and I climbed out of the JK, and we helped them get their Gladiator turned around, and we headed back to Moab. This is just a good reminder, folks, that, again, you got to know when to just say no. And they weren't having fun, and Suzanne wasn't enjoying herself, and we had no issues turning around and heading back into town and just enjoying the evening. It worked out well, and again, folks, just ride your own ride, as they say in motorcycling, and do the same thing if you're doing any off-roading. If you're not comfortable and you're not having fun, you can always just turn around. Mark, how's those steaks coming along? They're looking good, aren't they? Mark is the chef tonight. I did the salad. Do you hear that, everybody? I slaved over the salad.
Your other one there, I tried to get.
I'll come get it.
Nice walk up there.
There's a nice walk up there.
Here, I got you. I got you. Right up there.
That thing weighs 400 pounds.
Well, with all that shit on it, there needs to be a lot more rock piled in the middle of it.
Well, folks, the day didn't start off the way we intended it to. As you saw in yesterday's episode, we did get a little bit of rain, and we actually got a lot of rain overnight. And so today we were heading out to Book's Cliff and Sago Canyon, and all the references in the book said, look, it's typically easy when dry, but can be impassable when wet. I guess I ignored that part of the situation. So didn't get any video of it, but this aftermath here of everybody up in the mud pit trying to get the max treads out from the mud is after I buried my JK up to the top of the rims. It took about 2 hours to dig out of it, and 4 tread boards and a whole bunch of cursing and that sort of thing. But yeah, it wasn't passable, and it continued to get muddy all the way up along the rim. After that, we're going to go into town, drop off the 390 that Mark was riding, and we were going to head up to Gemini Bridges and do a plan B, do our little audible there. But folks, that mud was nothing to be dealt with. It was brutal. And again, it was my fault. I should have tested it. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. 2 hours of digging out later, I realized the alternate. But it was still a fun day. We had a wonderful afternoon exploring Gemini Bridges, and on our way down, we came across Team Whiff, some people with an ambulance conversion. Really nice couple, Tiffany and Will. Really good folks, so you should go check them out at teamwhiff.com. I'll put a link down in the description. But they were trying to turn around, and they actually got themselves in a little bit of trouble. And the vehicle was pretty heavy in the way they were up against their stops. There wasn't much we could help them with. We tried to help dig them out. Tried to use some tread boards, but couldn't do much with it, so they eventually had to call a tow truck and get recovered that way. But it was nice meeting them. We were just hoping we could have met them on different terms. We head back into town and decide to stop off at our local coffee shop in Moab and finish up the day. And man, it was a good day. We had to call audible on a couple things, but look, sometimes it's not a trip or an adventure without some consequence. So we decided to do that, and it was again just another fantastic day. We got another day to explore tomorrow.
Really, just that one would have been the hard one. Getting it.
Moving pretty good.
We could probably do that fast, I guess, if we wanted to.
Fairly decent. That must indicate it's a fairly decent road.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, tell her to be very slow, calculated, because it's going to get a little lean.
Yeah, very slow, very deliberate coming down this face here.
Around you.
Yep, it's on.
I'm glad we did this. That's cool.
Yep.
Different scenery. This is a good way to end up the trip.
Yep. It's not all those crazy fins and things.
Right.
And stuff. No reason to people
You still get the views. That Onion Creek was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's just Cocopelli straight, so
Okay.
yeah. Good for them.
Yeah. Good there. All right.
You guys okay? Are you guys all right?
Everybody got water, right? Okay, everybody got water? I know we got you guys. I'm not sure if we got everybody. Alrighty, see ya. Uh-huh. This one right here would be tough on a motorcycle.
Yep.
This was a great end to our trip here, folks. Onion Creek and Thompson Canyon were highlights of the trip. Such great scenery, enough technical stuff to keep you interested, but the scenery was just unbelievable. We had a really good time finishing up this day. Like I said, it was a little more technical, so we got Suzanne and Marcia got to get out a little bit.
I gotta tell you, y'all are hardcore.
I was really impressed with all the mountain bike guys that were doing this trail. It was very, very tough.
Don't stop till you get to the top. I'll be downhill eventually.
We leapfrogged this group back and forth, gave them some water. Boy, they were really going at it, and just a lot of fun to watch, but they were making me tired just watching them. They were a good group, though. The trail was pretty rocky, and I just can't imagine doing it on a mountain bike. As we went further up for the day, it started to warm up a little bit, so it was in the mid-80s by the time we finished. So it was getting a little warm, but both the JK and the Gladiator just did fabulously well on this road, and this is the kind of stuff that I really like to do. I really like the idea of going out and checking out scenery and having a little bit of technical stuff, but not really a lot of hard rock crawling. I like to keep my vehicle semi-straight.
I do it on a Jeep.
I don't blame you.
Stupidest idea ever.
That guy was hilarious. Like I said, the views were spectacular. It was a very nice day out, and
Yeah,
I
no
think that
motorcycles.
Suzanne and Marcia really got to get the feel of what it's like to be off-road and out in the middle of nowhere, and the scenery again was just unbelievable. This last part was pretty steep, and it was a good little test for Suzanne and Marcia, who hadn't done much of this off-road and stuff, so they really enjoyed themselves, and I have to say they did very, very well. This last bit, we were just getting ready to get off the trail. It was a shame that the trip was coming to an end, but we had a wonderful time, and can't wait to get back to Moab again. Took a few more pictures, so I'll let you guys check that out, and we'll talk to you soon. Well, folks, that about wraps it up for this video. Hope you enjoyed this little trip to Moab. Again, this is an Adventure Lite trip. Nothing crazy, just some good camping, some scenic views, some nice little dirt roads, and just some great friendship and camaraderie. If you're interested in something like this, contact us at motoadrenalinetours.com. Until then, everybody, have a great day and be safe out there. Bye.